Hello, today I'm reading a Ethan Morgan, ex-female listener. In this series, it's like a 28-part series. You are Benny's twin sister, and yeah, this part is really long, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it all in for one part because it's really late at night right now. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. I think I forgot to mention this. This, first chapter, which I already read what I'm reading for today, it takes place in the movie, and then after this, I think it goes into the show, because the movie takes place before the show. So, yeah. I hope that makes sense. Enjoy.
What are you doing here, mortal?
Jesse asked as you walked up to your dead parents' grave. Mortal? You scoffed. What are you, a god? You sassed. I'm immortal, I can tell you that. Jess smirked. Just leave me alone, Jesse. All I want to do is put this flower on the grave and leave so Benny doesn't get worried. You held up the white rose in your hand.
Well, guess what, Yasmin?
Jesse crossed his arms. What, Mr. Immortal? You mocked. He suddenly showed you his fangs. You froze. He sunk his teeth into your neck, making you scream. He covered your mouth as he drained blood from you, making you feel faint. Your grandma found you passed out a few hours later, still in the graveyard. She never told Benny about you being bitten. It's been 5 years since you were bitten. Each month, Grandma made you a blood substitute, so you didn't have to drink normal human blood. You were still a fledgling to this day. Thunder cracked as the moon glowed. Jacquard and Rochelle were sitting in a car in the middle of the woods. It was raining badly. I love you, Rochelle breathed.
I'm not human,
Jacquard said harshly. I don't care. Bite me. I'm begging you, Rochelle said. Jacquard smiled, showing his fangs. Thunder cracked as Rochelle screamed. Jane jumped next to you as Rochelle screamed. Hey, it's okay. You smile warmly. It's only a movie. Look at this, Ethan said with his hands full of candy. He and Benny set a pound of candy down on the table. What'd you do? Rob an ice cream truck or something?
Tomorrow, we officially join the High School of Brotherhood,
Benny started. And sisterhood, you called.
We are men, Benny continued, and women.
He motioned to you.
We must make this a moment. Let's make it the Sunday to end all Sundays,
Ethan said determinedly.
Want anything, sis?
Benny asked. No thanks, Ben. You looked at the screen.
You barely eat anything. You've gone days without eating.
Benny groaned.
Just one thing?
Benny was practically begging you. You thought about it for a moment. I won't mind a few mini marshmallows. You shrugged. Benny grinned.
That's my sister. Remember in grade 5 when you put 176 in your mouth?
Ethan held up the bag.
Yeah, right. It was 186.
Benny scoffed.
No way,
Ethan exclaimed.
I did 172 and you did 176. You barely hit 150.
Benny rolled his eyes. The boys argued over treats and you heard a thump. Yasmin, did you hear that? Jane asked you quietly. Yeah, I did. You nodded. Do you want to go check it out? Scream and I'll come rescue you, okay? Jane nodded with a smile. She left, and after a few moments, she screamed. You heard a car and rushed outside, hugging Jane tightly. Are you okay? What happened? Did anyone... You stopped when you noticed the shoe. You looked up at the tree as you saw Mr. and Mrs. Morgan get out of the car. What is she doing outside? Miss Morgan asked. Ethan! She screamed. Ethan rushes outside, spitting out marshmallows on the front porch. You rolled your eyes at your crush as Jane continued hugging you tightly. "What happened?" Miss Morgan asked. "We heard thumping and Jane went to go check what it was," you blurted out. "This guy was hitting a tennis ball at the garage door with a hockey stick. He threw Abby and disappeared so quickly. All that was left of him was his shoe, and it dropped from the tree," Jane explained, clearly very scared.
"Hey, you're home early,"
Ethan said awkwardly.
"How was date night?"
"I'm really sorry you had to watch her, Yasmin. I told Ethan to watch her," Miss Morgan apologized. "No, it's fine, really," you insisted. "Yeah, I like spending time with Yasmin." Jane smiled. "I enjoy spending time with you too." You smiled down at her. "We'll get a babysitter, I assure you," Miss Morgan said. "Miss Morgan, if you want..." "No, it's fine, sweetie. You shouldn't have been watching Jane when her older brother should have." Miss Morgan waved you off.
"A babysitter? For you? Classic."
Benny questioned in disbelief. "Shh!" Ethan hushed him. "Keep it down, man. That kind of info could totally ruin a guy's rep." "Your rep is a sci-fi loving geek," you pointed out. "And you're a band nerd," Ethan retorted. "At least I do something with my talents." You rolled your eyes.
"Have you forgotten the chess club?"
Benny asked. "The one we're all in?" "Yeah, I'm also in band, chorus, and book club," you added.
"I forgot you were a duster,"
Benny said grimly.
"Anyways, it's not for me, it's for Jane."
Ethan rolled his eyes.
"Well, on the positive side, one of those primo high school babes could totally be at your house tonight. Heck, even Yasmin could babysit you. I'm sure you'd like that."
Benny smirked. "Ha ha," you said sarcastically. "I would personally love to babysit Jane, but unfortunately, I'm the same age as you, so Miss Morgan doesn't think I'm old enough." You frowned.
"You already act like her older sister,"
Ethan pointed out. "Because she loves me," you replied.
"All I know is her name is Erica and she goes to this school,"
Ethan explained.
"With any luck, I can talk my parents out of it by tonight."
"Ah,
"Hey, Principal Hex, let me give you a hand."
Jesse walked up to the principal.
"Oh, thank you, Jesse,"
Principal Hex said.
"Anything for our fearless leader. Hey, do you mind?"
Jesse motioned to the coffee cup. He took a long sip of it, and you cringed.
"Ah, French roast."
"French roast," Principal Hex repeated. Jesse must have been glamorizing him. "You've been able to do it, but only for a few minutes."
"Good choice,"
Jesse added. "Good choice," Principal Hex echoed. Jesse walked away and nodded at you guys. The boys nodded back, but you glared at him.
"Why do you not like him?"
Benny noticed your expression. "He just has a bad feeling about him." You lied.
"He's in the boys' drama club, always making a scene."
Principal Hex laughed. Benny fake chuckled back.
"Benny, this is it,"
Ethan said, making you look at him.
"Our entire social life depends on how we behave in these next few days." "What do you think?"
Benny asked, motioning to the goggles. "Benny!" Ethan whisper yelled, snatching them off of Benny. You hid a smile behind your hand. "Those are state-of-the-art alien DNA detector goggles," Benny snapped quietly. "Yeah? So?" Ethan snapped back. "High school cafeteria is the ideal place to test them out," Benny stated. "Yeah, and a way to brand us as dorks for the next 4 years," Ethan snapped as you rolled your eyes. "Give me the goggles," Benny said through gritted teeth. "No. Promise to be cool?" Ethan refused as they started lightly tug-of-warring. "Hey, you guys! Hey, over here!" Rory called us over. You smiled at Rory and waved. "Hey, Rory."
"The four amigos ride again," Any of you guys got a $1.28?
Rory asked. Sorry, Rory. You frowned.
Ugh, okay, that's it. I'm going away from you guys before I'm doomed to be...
Ethan let out a yelp as he ran into a girl, spilling his lunch all over her. Ah! Dork! The girl yelled. She sighed angrily. Thank you so much. She walked away.
That is one babe-tastical Tower of Babylon.
Benny put his goggles back on. Oh, shut up, Benny. You rolled your eyes.
Says the girl who has a crush on Rory.
Benny mumbled. Excuse me? You scoffed. You have a crush on Rory. It's so obvious. Benny whispered. He's been our friend for so long, Ben. The only reason I talk to him is because he needs us. Otherwise, he would look like a stupid lost puppy. And you know I have a crush on someone else. You hissed. Benny glanced at Ethan. I thought you got over him a couple years ago. Benny stated in a whisper. I started crushing on him a couple years ago, dimwit. Now quit it before he hears us. You hissed, looking at Ethan.
No way.
Ethan looked over at the girl who he had spilt his lunch on. The girl was sitting with her friends a couple tables ahead of us.
That babe you branded as friends with her?
Rory asked in disbelief.
Who?
Ethan asked, looking over at them.
Stage 1 Dusker girl?
Ethan looked at you.
You should go say hi to them, Yasmin. You're about as bad about dusk as they are.
I've read the books once. Sure, I want to see the movie, but not right when it comes out. You explained.
Anyways, her name is Erica. She's the Princess Leia to my Han Solo.
Benny smirked.
Hey, maybe she'll be your babysitter for tonight.
At that moment, you got kind of jealous. She was way prettier than you without glasses. Ethan wouldn't like you. You're Benny's twin sister, for fuck's sake, and that's all he sees you as.
Okay, in no universe are you Han.
Ethan stated with a snort. And I doubt that's the same Erica.
Ah, you're right.
Benny admitted.
It's probably too good to be true, but I'm gonna go find out.
Benny said.
Wait, what? Benny? Benny!
Ethan tried to stop him.
Way to go, Benny!
Rory whisper shouted.
Shut up!
Ethan hissed. You barely heard their conversation as you were just picking at your food.
Sorry I was snappy with you this morning. I guess I'm just stressed about it being our first year of high school.
Ethan looked at you. It's fine. I get it. My brother's already branding us as nerds, dorks, whatever you want to call this group. But we're a nice group of friends, and that's all that matters. You pointed out. You're right. Ethan smiled. He then licked his lips nervously. There was actually something I wanted to talk to you.
Think she'll tuck you in tonight?
Rory teased, cutting Ethan off.
Shut up!
Ethan repeated to Rory.
Yeah, I think she likes me.
Benny whispered as he high-fived Rory.
What? Why?
Ethan asked in disbelief.
You're being babysat by a Dusker. Diehard fans of Dusk are so lame.
Larry stated.
Yeah, you should talk. You're still sleeping with Starship Enterprise jammies.
Ethan smirked as you snorted.
Dusk is based off of fairy tale creatures. Star Trek is based on actual physics.
Rory defended himself.
True, but hey, if fairy tales is what it takes to nib my future wife, then once upon a time I'm in.
Benny said determinedly.
Hey, check it out.
Benny started as you all left school.
Looks like they found the rest of the missing seniors.
The rest? Ethan and you both questioned at the same time.
Yeah, says here he was all shriveled up.
Ethan continued. Your eyes widened as you looked away. A vampire must have got him that night. That's why he disappeared.
Dude! Ethan yelled, covered in Benny's juice. Ethan shoved him away lightly. Oh, bummer, Benny said, looking over at Jessie. He had a girl pinned against a tree. Looks like she's already hooked up with Mr. Too Cool for School. Did someone mention my name? Rory put his elbows on the two boys. You heard a little snippet of the conversation and charged toward Jessie. You grabbed him by his collar and growled. What did you do to her? You snapped. The same thing I did to you, Jessie whispered. I'm surprised you're still a fledgling, dear. It's been what, 5 years since I bit you? Jessie questioned quietly with a smirk. Yeah, and I'm going to stay that way. The only way I'm drinking blood is if you force it down my damn throat. You growled. If you insist. Jessie looked at his friends. You growled and stomped away from him, going after the girl. Once you were out of sight of the boys, you used your speed to get to her. Hey, you said, surprising her. Aren't you friends with that nerd squad? The girl asked, clearly annoyed. Yeah, but that's not important. What did Jess do to you? You asked bluntly. The girl hesitated. Nothing, she said. What's your name? You asked calmly. Sarah Fox, she said. Well, Sarah, did Jessie bite you and turn you too? You reworded your question. She gawked at you. How did you... Jessie turned me too. He bit me when I was visiting my parents' grave. Just please trust me and I'll explain everything. You begged. Sarah seemed hesitant, but nodded after a few moments. Okay. Have you sucked blood out of anyone yet? Sarah shook her head. Okay, Jess bit you. He's a fully fledged vampire. If he bites you, he injects his venom into you. And you are now what they call a fledgling. A fledgling is a person who's not exactly human, but not exactly a vampire. Jessie told me that if I don't drink blood in the next 28 days, my mortal body will die, Sarah stated. Ah, but you've never heard of the thing called blood substitutes. You smiled. They're like blood. It tastes horrible, believe me, but it's somewhat like blood. It keeps your body alive while you're still a fledgling. That's how I've been able to stay a fledgling for the past 5 years. You explained. Do you still grow while you're a fledgling? Sarah asked. Of course. How would I look like this if I didn't? You giggled. But whatever you do, don't drink blood. Whatever Jessie tells you, don't do it. Everything will stop completely if you do. You warned her. She smiled. You seem cool, she stated, looking around. See you around, Weir. Bye, Sarah. You called as she walked away. You sped back to the corner that you usually walked back home with the boys. Why were you talking to that chick? Benny asked. Asking her what her deal is. You shrug innocently. She seems cool. She is? Benny asked. You roll your eyes. Yes. Now, let's go. We don't want Miss Morgan worrying. It must be pretty embarrassing needing a babysitter in high school, Jane stated as you all worked at the table on homework. Howdy, partners. Miss Morgan walked into the room. Where's Benny? She asked. He went home. Grandma needed him for something. You explained. I see. Miss Morgan looked between Ethan and you. Anyways, we're going country line dancing. You smiled. Sounds fun, you stated. I hope it will be, Mr. Morgan said. Mom, Dad. Ethan set his pencil down. I just wanted to say, you were right. I shouldn't have left Jane unattended last week. I learned my lesson. So you guys can cancel the sitter and save $25. Even Yasmin can watch us. Ethan motioned to you. Yeah,
I would want Yasmin as my babysitter. Jane added, Ethan, I already told you. I'm not leaving you alone with Jane until you can be trusted. And Jasmine's not old enough. She's not old enough to babysit both of you. Miss Morgan walked away.
Sorry, pal. She's the sheriff.
Mr. Morgan apologized. Mr. Morgan danced out of the room. Fine. Ethan slammed his papers on his book. We'll be in my room, alone. Ethan picked up his books and looked at you. You coming? He asked. You nodded and picked up your stuff, carrying it to his room. You sat down on his bed, starting to do your homework there. A ding came from Ethan's computer and you looked up.
Hey, man. Any sight of the babe-o-sitter yet?
Benny appeared on the screen. No, I'm staying in my room as a form of protest. Ethan explained.
Well, I'm not.
Benny pointed out.
First sight of Babezilla and I am there.
Benny smirked.
Good luck with that.
Ethan frowned. He ended the video call and you sighed. She's a year older than him. What makes him think he can hit on her like that? You asked frustratedly.
I guess it's just Benny being Benny. I'm sure he'll get over her soon.
Ethan assured you. But your thoughts went to earlier at lunch. What did you want to say to me earlier at school? You asked.
Oh, I was actually going to ask you if you would substitute for the babysitter if Mom asked you to.
Ethan paused for a moment. Ethan, don't lie to me. What's going on? You smiled.
Nothing.
Ethan insisted, looking at his screen. Really? You closed your book quietly, getting up from the bed. You turned him around and looked down at him. What's going on, Ethan? You know you don't have to lie to me. You can tell me the truth. Please? You pouted. He studied you for a moment. You were the same height he was. He was maybe a couple inches taller when you were standing up. He looked deeply into your eyes, as if he was trying to read you.
You won't yell at me, will you?
Ethan asked. Why would I? His soft lips pressed against yours, making your eyes widen and then closed. He pulled away carefully and looked at you again, studying you. He then smiled.
I thought you would slap me.
Ethan admitted. You shook your head and cupped his cheeks, kissing him again. It was sweet. The taste of mint chapstick was on your lips.
I like you. Really, really like you.
Ethan pulled away before latching his lips onto yours again. You pull away for some air. I like you too. Really, really like you too. You replied, kissing him again. You heard a growl sound from outside, and you pulled away, going to the window and looking outside. There was a ding from Ethan's laptop.
You hear that?
Benny asked in disbelief.
Sounds like ultimate raccoon fight in our backyard. Sounds huge.
There was a loud thump, and the doorbell rang repeatedly. You groaned. Just Ethan's babysitter. You smiled softly. You walked downstairs to see Sarah with Miss Morgan. She smiled at you as she talked to Jane. Oh, hang on 1 second. Honey, you're bleeding. Miss Morgan stopped her. Oh, it's nothing. I tripped on the way here. It doesn't even hurt. Sarah covered her scratch. I can fix her up, Miss Morgan. You motioned to Sarah. Thank you, Yasmin. Miss Morgan called as Sarah walked into the bathroom with you. You both went into the bathroom. You shut the door behind both of you. You heard a knock at the front door and you knew it was Benny. You grabbed the bandages and took one out of the box. Let me guess. Someone I can guess who threw you? You asked quietly so your voice wouldn't echo. Yep, Jessie. Sarah said simply. Ethan suddenly opened the door, startling you both. Sarah scoffed. Looking for something, or are you just an incredible perv? She questioned. You put your hands on the back of the counter, trying to keep yourself from fainting as Ethan stammered. You could tell he could see that your reflection wasn't in the mirror. Betty! He whispered, shutting the door. Sarah sighed, turning to you. Your boyfriend's concerned about you. He means well. You shrugged. Wait, you're dating him? Sarah questioned. You froze. We admit we have feelings for each other. I don't know if he wants to date me. Sarah deadpanned. He obviously does if he likes you. She stated. You shrugged and finished. Done, you said. Hey, you guys don't really need a sitter, do you? Sarah walked out of the bathroom with you. Depends on what you mean by need. Benny winked. No, we're fine. Ethan cringed at the brunette. My mom just likes humiliating me to prove a point. Okay, good. I need to find my friend Erica. I think she's in a lot of trouble. Sarah said, maybe I should come with you for protection. You grabbed her arm. Sarah dropped something and Ethan helped her pick it up. His eyes turned white and you looked at him, confused. Sarah turned to you. Trust me, you don't want to go out tonight. Save those muscles, both of you, for protecting yourself. Sarah snickered, motioning to Ethan and you. Did you see that? Ethan asked Sarah. Sarah drawled. Later, guys. Sarah left. Whoa, super smooth, hotshot. Benny said flatly. You got a hot-ass babe here, and you just go and immediately weird her out? Well done. I'm very impressed. I'm telling you, I just saw something. Ethan insisted. Okay, she's not normal. I'm going to find out what's going on. Ethan decided. Fine. Undercover brother and sister mission on. I like it. Benny approved. But aren't you forgetting something? Yeah, what are you forgetting? Jane walked up to us, wearing a tiara. Thanks, Grandma. You're a lifesaver. Benny said as Grandma walked in. Anytime, dear, Grandma said. She smells funny, Jane said, pouting. No, she doesn't. She smells nice, like flowers and mothballs, Ethan said quickly before walking over to you. Everything okay? You asked, concerned. About earlier, maybe we can hang out and watch a movie one day? Ethan whispered. You smiled. Sounds nice. You nodded. Ethan walked away and grabbed both of your coats, handing one to you. We'll be right back, I promise. Ethan assured her as he put on his coat. I hate being 8. Jane pouted. You know what, Jane? I loved being 8. You sat down next to her. Why? I don't get to do anything fun, Jane asked. Because when I was 8, I got to play with dolls and watch childish cartoons, and I got to have fun with just my imagination. You explained with a smile. How do I have fun right now? Jane questioned. Go grab your dolls and throw a party, you suggested. Pretend they're all dancing with you or dancing with each other. Jane beamed. Thanks, Yasmin. Have fun. She ran off to her room. How did you do that? Ethan asked when you all got onto the sidewalk. Because I used to be 8. I used to get jealous when Benny would go over your house and build forts while I stayed home because I didn't know you. You explained. You all sped walked and Benny kept dropping things. What is all this stuff? Ethan asked. Digicams with night vision, duh. Benny explained. You can't possibly expect us to investigate the supernatural realm without the proper equipment. Fine, just keep it on the down low, okay? Ethan hissed.
She already thinks I'm a perv. You said her reflection wasn't all there, right? Benny asked. Yeah, Ethan said. Here's a thought. What if this is some stupid publicity stunt for that stupid Dusk movie? If it is, then I knew it all along. Benny shouted. Benny, shh! You hushed him. Come on, I think she headed towards town. It's hopeless. We lost her. Benny stated. Must have pizza. She's out here. I feel it. Ethan insisted. What? Benny said, confused. There was rustling in a nearby trash can, and you got nervous. You all walked over to the alleyway, and Ethan abruptly grabbed your hand when you heard glass shatter. Shh! There's something in the alleyway. Ethan informed us. Night vision engaged. Benny said, looking through the camera in his hands. His eyes widened when he pointed it at a garbage bag. What, Benny? What? Ethan asked, panicked as he let go of your hand. He sighed when he didn't get an answer. Fine, I'm just gonna go see for... Ethan stopped when Benny held him back. We should leave. Benny said quickly, swallowing. We should leave right now. Ethan took the camera and looked through it. Him and Benny both screamed. Once your eyes adjusted and Sarah hissed at you guys, Ethan ran away. He had come back to grab Benny and you. We're so dead, Ethan exclaimed as we ran. Speak for yourself, skinny guy coming through, warp 9. Benny yelled. Ah, help! Ethan yelled desperately. My babysitter's a vampire! Okay, that was half of this freaking part of the, movie bit. I don't even know. Okay. I'm really freaking tired and I don't want to read anymore. But if you want me to read the rest of this chapter and the rest of this series, I will. I honestly probably will, even if nobody wants it, because nobody freaking posts from My Babysitter's Vampire. And I love My Babysitter's a Vampire. So I am going to read this, and you guys can either love me for it or don't care and don't watch it. I don't mind. I don't really do it for the numbers. I just do it because why wouldn't I? I hope you have a good day, night, evening, whatever. Goodbye.